Hey everybody. Um, so I needed to process something, so I figured I would just jump on here and do it because this seems to be the best place on processing things. I encountered this video by a gal that calls herself Nubian News, and um, it was interesting. It's titled, "A Warning to the Divine Masculine," and that he's going to need to, or he's going to choose his karmic over his divine feminine, but he's being tricked too. There's a lot of sorcery involved, and the wool's being pulled over his eyes, and he's going to end up relocating to her country or her farm or something like that. um because this is all like a lot of karma, past life stuff, and blaming his feminine, blaming, saying that she's the one that's been doing evil and whatever it is. The whole point is, I'm listening to this, and I have had to listen to the video like 4 times now because there is just an increasing sinking in the pit of my stomach. And everything she's describing that the divine masculine is going to have to go through. If Jeannie really is my twin, and if that's something, because it just resonated so much, because that is everything I went through with him. I mean, seriously, she could have been speaking my story. Um, I, my entire world was turned upside down when I met him. Yeah, I was in an unhappy marriage with Casper, and I was taking my spiritual gifts or intuition to, and even starting like a shamanic type thing, and I decided to engage in what I called sexual healing. And this was between me and a partner, but it was online because I couldn't find anybody physically that was interested. But the idea was that our hearts weren't going to get involved, but we were going to talk about our traumas and things that we have to heal and work through. So that way we would be ready for for an actual partner. The idea being that we came into this broken. And so, but then I cut all this off for some odd reason. My heart chakra started opening up, and I became kind of paranoid of people in my life. I've had these various things over the past, 2 years of becoming super paranoid of the people in my life. And I had various visions. This was, like I said, there was that, like, right before meeting Janie, I suddenly just started having a whole bunch of vision things happening, and I didn't even discuss them all in that other video. I was just discussing the ones related to what I felt was Atlantis or Lemuria. And I started having kind of visions about these individuals and things that were going on that I needed to stop. So in essence, I was kind of being told certain things. So, but then there was also the other thing of I needed to open up my heart to loving everybody, loving my just everybody. So I set out this thing of drawing this picture of a Valentine that I was going to, make a general Valentine to all my Facebook friends. There was like 235 of them. Yeah, I didn't have many compared to most people, but hey, it was a lot for me. That was even too many for me. I felt like I couldn't give them all the time and attention that they needed and wanted. So then I met Jeannie. Just right before I drew this, but then I included him on the Valentine because I had seen his name. There was something about his name, and so I sent him a friend request, and things really just started to explode with us. It was really the oddest thing because, like, once I saw his name, there was just something I had to know about him. Um, And so, but anyway, what this gal on Nubia News, A Warning to the Divine Masculine, is pretty much everything that happened to me. And I'm curious, well, what does this mean? And I'm really bothered by this now. Does it mean that I was the masculine energy and that I was, in essence, too much in my ego, chasing after things that would create false beliefs or just validate me in some way because I was already feeling so hurt and whatever? I mean, what does it really mean? Because I was ready to leave behind my family, Layla and Casper. Just saying, you know what, I've done all I can for these past, well, it was like a year or so previous that I had been putting in a lot of effort because I had my shamanic awakening or my dark night of the soul awakening or whatever it was. And I had delved really deep into my shadow work and started, I decided I was going to heal my marriage, which was part of the reason I started doing sexual healing. It wasn't that I wanted a partner and I wasn't attracted to anybody anyways, but I had a lot of wounds that I wanted to heal. Whether Casper was going to heal them, it remained to be seen. But by this point, he wasn't, and I had done over a year's worth of work on myself, such that Jeannie suddenly came along, and I just like, oh, wow, my heart is restarted. I have feelings here. I didn't even know these feelings existed. Oh, wow, this is quite similar to when I met Casper. I thought those feelings died a long time ago. You know, the short of it was is I came back online from like a living dead state. Suddenly I was alive again and I was happy and it was just amazing to actually be in love again. I had gotten to the point where I didn't think love really even existed. And when I went through everything with Jeannie, I got to that point again where I wondered if love even exists. And I think I'm mixing up Casper and Jeannie. I apologize. I don't know if consciously if I have. Try to recall what I've said, and yeah, it's not working. Anyway, Casper, I was ready to leave behind Casper and Layla, figuring I was the problem. Because at this point in my shadow work, I had gotten beyond the whole thing of blaming everyone else. Everybody else is projecting, and I'm the victim. And I was in the stage where now I was looking really wholly at my shadows and what I had done, how I had caused the problems, and I gave everyone that proverbial get out of jail free card. As if their actions didn't really matter, and really my shadows were worse than theirs, and I was doing something far worse than they ever did. And so I must have deserved what I got. It was karma, pay me back, or something like that. So when I keep losing my train of thought. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to. When Jeannie came along and my heart restarted, suddenly there was that part of me that said, you know what? I deserve to be happy. And part of me, I actually at this point began what I consider the next stage of shadow work, although I did have deeper shadow work personally to go into, of looking at how I had caused situations. I was really actually starting to move into the whole thing, though, of yes, other people have caused me problems and hurt, just like I've caused them problems and hurt. How do I reconcile this? And because I fell in love, it seemed like that was the key to the reconciliation, to follow this path. And obviously, I had caused Layla and Casper so many problems that karma just kept beating me in the ass and saying, I didn't deserve happiness. I didn't know what I had done to deserve it all. And part of me felt I didn't deserve it. But it was a war within me. So I determined, though, I gave my ultimatum. I want a divorce. And first I was just going to leave Layla here with Jeannie, or Casper, I'm sorry. See, I messed up. I knew I messed up that time. But she said she wanted to come with me because she started realizing that she didn't feel really loved or by her dad. She didn't feel like he really cared about her. And in essence, I have since come to realize, since coming back from Botched Paradise, and Casper and I are trying to work things out. And I'm trying to find all sorts of things about what is really going on with these relationships. I mean, why is it everybody is in the mode of hurting each other? And how can that stop? But then there's the question of, I keep going through trying to fix these broken things. I take responsibility for what's mine to take responsibility for. I try to just be my own nurse because nobody's there to help me heal my heart. And I try to just say it's not personal. I realize there's a much bigger picture going on, that these people are hurt and they're triggered by something in me, but they're also triggered by ancestral wounds and, genetic issues, passed down through the generations. Sins of the father we pass down through the generations. That's what I was looking for. But so in the gal's thing of Nubian News, though, the divine masculine is going to be very tempted by his karmic soulmate partner, and he's going to end up probably changing countries, but then going there and the blinders are going to fall off, and he's going to realize that he was taken for a fool. And it just so mirrored what happened between Jeannie and I. I honestly thank God that I'm alive. It was a really foolhardy journey. Yeah, the fool in the tarot is to take the step off the whatever and go forward. I took a step. I followed my heart, and everything was warning me against Jeannie. Kind of like in Nubian News, it talks about how the karmic, or everyone's going to be warning the divine masculine against the divine feminine, saying she's evil and whatever, and I got tons of that. Lots of people were telling him how evil I was. Even one person pulled a picture off my Facebook wall when I was trying to reconcile with him and said, "Look at her, look how crazy she is, look at those eyes." I told you, I was really beaten up. It was really unfair. Just because I asked just for reconciliation. So I mean, it's like everything she says, it's like it's just playing out perfectly, and it seems that he has to experience this. He's gonna have to experience the same thing I did, and that makes me sad because I don't want anybody to have to experience what I've gone through. But I also understand the necessity for it, but then I question why. I mean, is this really karma coming back to bite him in the ass? Is it really payback for what he did, how much he lied to me, how much deceit was going on, and how much, in essence, black magic was involved, and endangering me? God was there the entire time, but I look back on it and I am really shocked that I am still alive. And after everything that happened, I still continue to pine and long for him. I realized the spiritual abuse that was going on. I have tried to cut things so many times. It's just that cord is there. I have to accept it. I'm learning different levels of love. But I'm not entirely sure where it's all going. Because right now it seems like nothing is producing any way for me to leave here. But I'm also trying to reconcile things, and I don't want to leave by throwing a bomb behind me like I did before. I want everybody to be happy. And even though Genie did what he did, I don't want him to have to suffer the way that I did. And so I'm really disturbed by her thing, but I do realize that he's probably going to need to do that and experience that, and it's just, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this. It's 16 minutes. I'm gonna shut this off now and think for a little bit and see what I come to, because I'm really bothered by this. Alright, I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.